Hello, now you can start speaking.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Christian P. Pascual. I'm the director for the Institute for Innovative Learning and International Cooperation at the University of the Cordilleras, and I'll be one of your speakers and your moderator in today's webinar. If you're tuning in via YouTube Live, please feel free to put your questions in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to entertain as many questions as we can after the talks. This talk is entitled Creating Partnerships Amidst this Pandemic, Sharing of Best Practices. And we would like to thank the European delegation to the Philippines for inviting the University of the Cordilleras to share our experience about collaborating with European higher education institutions. But before we start, allow me to give you an overview of the talk this afternoon. In this talk, we wish to share with you our university's experience, especially our research collaboration. Second, we're gonna share with you the UC's EU University Partnership. And then lastly, we're gonna share with you our learning experiences and building those partnerships. But before we start with the webinar, allow me to give a brief overview of the University of the Cordilleras. The University of the Cordilleras, or UC, is the first higher educational institution founded in the Cordillera region. It was established in June 1946. And since its establishment, UC now offer a total of 50 academic programs in basic education, undergraduate, and graduate level across 12 academic units. The university is now home to about 20,000 students and a workforce of about 700. The university is one of the few higher education institutions in the Philippines that is awarded the autonomous status by the Commission on Higher Education, or CHED. It also has been identified by CHED as Center for Excellence in Criminology, Information Technology, and Teacher Education. So at this point, allow me to introduce our first speaker in this webinar. Our first speaker is the Executive Director of the Research Service Office, or RSO, of the University of the Cordilleras. As a researcher, he was able to complete 18 research projects funded by government agencies like the Environmental Management Bureau, the Philippine National Police, the Department of Interior and Local Government, and even the Department of Science and Technology of the Philippines. Currently, he leads the implementation of 3 externally funded projects. First is the 62 million peso 3-year DOST shared research project called Project Bondok. Second is the 18 million peso 2-year National Research Council of the Philippines funded project called Project Danum. And lastly, which he will be presenting this afternoon, is the Geomatics for Disaster Risk Reduction project funded by the European Commission under the Erasmus Plus program. So without any further ado, allow me to introduce Engineer Nathaniel Vincent Lubrica. Engineer Lubrica, the floor is now yours.
Hello, thank you very much for that kind introduction, Dr. Pascual. So I'll be now starting my presentation. And indeed, the statement of Dr. Pascual, I'll be sharing our best practices amidst this pandemic on the GEODRR program under the Erasmus Plus, the CBHE program. And you will learn about it, the collaborators, a little while. So in here also, I want to start with our experience. Okay, our journey in advocating the geographic information system. So it started in Taguig, now in Baguio. We were successful in establishing our laboratory. And now with our partnership under the GEODRR consortium, we now have the Baguio towards the global communities. It's a dream come true for a GIS advocate like me. So we have completed projects in geomatics with the PNP, particularly the GIS-based crime analysis, which is now being utilized nationwide. And we have environmental research programs in pollution. Even in the DILG, we have innovated the governance and the citizen satisfaction index survey using the Geomatics. And last year, we concluded a project, a collaboration with universities in the Philippines. And we were able to come up with the land surface temperature studies and land cover maps that we were able also to turn over to the local government of Baguio. And aside from that, we have also health analysis, or we were able to come up with clustering algorithm maps for particularly for dengue. And these projects were all funded by the DOS CPCHRD. So last year during the lockdown, we had that initiative also to apply Geomatics to assist our stranded students in the Bliss area. So we were able to engage providers for relief operations to attend to the needs of these students. So this is our GIS laboratory, and it was under the IDP, or the Institutional Development Program, under DOSCP shared, having 5 million of grant. And from here, we were able to get a lot of equipment, from drones to servers. You have also big scanners and printers, GNSS devices. And with our current projects, we were able to get software like ArcGIS, drone to map, and we have still incoming equipment. And in here, the research task of our laboratory includes the land use, public safety, as well as health systems. We have been responding also to assistance in LGUs in terms of the COVID-19 pandemic. So this is one of our current programs, Program Bundok, implemented by 4 institutions at a span of 3 years. And we intend to come up with a mountain engineering center to be established in UC towards sustainable infrastructure and upland water security. And another project that we are implementing right now is called Project Danum. It's more on the watersheds. It's the decision support and nurturing management of watersheds. And just recently, we were able to defend another project in the EXICOM, the DOST. It's called the MULAT-DIS, and we'll be implementing soon a landslide monitoring integrated toolbox called the Project Calamity. So UC has current partnerships with LGUs, with non-government organizations, with government agencies, and the community. And we are so lucky to be chosen to be part of the GEODRR project. Why? Because currently, I presented what UC has. We have the GIS and the related laboratories. We have research projects and programs. We have partnerships with LGUs, NGAs, NGOs, and even the civil society organizations. But what does the GEODRR project provide us? It provides exactly what we need in capacity building, not just for our academic staff, but also for our administrative and technical staff, as well as it provides us an avenue for international linkage and partnership, as well as offering an international quality graduate program called the Master of Science in GEODRR, which we target to offer by next year. It's about synergy. It's about absolutely what we need. So let me talk about the Erasmus Plus, the CBHE, the GEODRR projects. Recently, the University of the Cordilleras hosted the second transnational meeting and the first training for the consortia. And this is a description of the GEODRR project. We are to The main aim is to design and offer a Master in Science program in Geomatics for disaster risk reduction. So it's participated by different universities from Poland, Spain, Greece, Cambodia, Malaysia, Philippines. And we have a consulting firm in Luxembourg. So these are the member institutions. You can see the European universities, the Silesian University, the SUT. You have University of Alicante in Spain, UA. You have the University of West Attica in Greece. You have the Nobel Group. And the partner institutions, we have 2 per country. In the Philippines, we have Saber University in Cagayan de Oro City. You have University of the Cordilleras in Baguio City. In Malaysia, you have University Utara Malaysia. You have also, just to correct this, it's not the UTM, but it was replaced by USM, University Science Malaysia. And in Cambodia, you have University of Battambang and the SRU. So in the Erasmus level objectives, you have the following objectives of the Erasmus. So, of course, increasing the cooperation with the EU, which I can see also in our project, and of course, modernizing, internationalizing, and increasing access to higher education. We feel it in the project, the presence and the mentoring of the different European Union partners as well. And at the level of the GEODRR project, you have the following objectives. And again, it focuses in building the capacity of academic, administrative, and technical staff in offering the MS Science, the Master in Science in Geomatics for DRR. So from here, I want to report also things that we have done for the past months. So we had the education study visit, and look at this. Amidst this pandemic, there was never a face-to-face interaction with our European Union partners and Southeast Asian colleagues. But you know what's amazing is that using this technology, you have, of course, you have the platforms like Zoom, you have Trello, and so on, WhatsApp, Facebook, and so on. We were able to keep at pace. So we had this training, like talking about geographic information system and GNSS in an online mode. But we were able to manage it as well. So Silesian University in Poland was the venue of the first education study visit. And we conducted monthly meetings. And so these are the meetings that we had. We had also our very own institutional meetings. And you know what's inspiring is that in this collaboration, you feel the energy, you feel mentored, and you have colleagues that are really excellent. And from there, you find inspiration. You find inspiration to move on, to continue on the program, and do your best. Okay? So like this, our colleagues from UUM, you have very young talents, even, younger than me, like Prof. Tan here, Prof. Mas, and so on, who are younger, and they are very accomplished, which I find really inspiring as well. So we had the first curriculum quality meeting, and it's something that we are learning as well. So this was hosted by University of Alicante. You have Dr. Christina Beans leading this curriculum quality meeting back in September 15. And recently, just last week, we have concluded the first training and second transnational meeting hosted by the University of Cordilleras. We had 4 days, 2 days for the meetings and 2 days for the training as well. So in here, it was great because we had cultural exchange. We had a really good interaction, and we can see how the role of culture affects perspective. But the really good thing here is that we learn how to collaborate, considering a lot of considering there's no barriers, no, in terms of culture, but in terms of respect to each other, we were able to accomplish it. So on our work packages in this project, we have 7 work packages, and in these work packages, it's led by different universities, as you can see here. Okay, so currently we are already in the process of the development of our respective curriculums. We were able to accomplish the needs assessment as well as the framework already. It's led by our colleagues from the Xavier University and so on. So in the moving forward, we talk about challenges and of course the educational visit. And we had a lot of contingency plans talking about where to have the next training and meeting. Will it be Cambodia or Malaysia? And because of these travel restrictions, we had contingency plans, plan A and plan B, so that we'll be able to finally meet face to face. But despite of that, in the title of this presentation, we were able to, until now, we did not meet face to face, but we have all the deliverables. We are well coordinated. And as I told our partner EU universities and Southeast Asian colleagues during the hosting of UC, I find it amazing having a meeting and training in 4 different time zones. And it's really possible. No? So this is my contact details. So I want to thank the organizers of this event for having me here in behalf of our GEODRR project in the University of Cordilleras. Thank you very much and good afternoon.
All right, thank you very much, Engineer Nathan Lubrica. What you have accomplished so far in the DRR project is truly commendable, inspiring, and worthy of emulation. All right, so to continue, allow me to share some of the other collaborations that UC has with EU institutions. The university, since the pandemic, actually since last year's virtual European Higher Education Fair, was able to establish 2 memorandum of understanding with EU universities, particularly one in Barcelona, Spain, and the other in Milan, Italy. Those agreements or partnership are centered around the objectives that you could see on your screen. So you can see here, from promoting international exchange of students to organizing symposia, conferences, courses, study tours, seminars, and meetings. But what is common with the partnership is that we want is that we would like to have international and intercultural dimensions in the academic as well as the non-academic services that we are providing. And that's why we want to engage with international institutions like those in the European Union. Just to share with you some of the experiences that my office had and the UC in general had collaborating with EU and other international universities. These are some of our learning experience which we would like to share with you guys. We hope that it could also help you in terms of like establishing your own partnership. First is always be prepared. I know that establishing international partnerships and agreement is something that will require a lot of time and effort, but if you know what you are looking for in the first place, like what fields you would like to partner with other institutions with, and what specific types of projects and programs you would like to engage with, and you know what you can contribute to your future partner universities, then it's going to make the process multiple times faster. Second is be aggressive in networking. If you were there yesterday during the virtual speed dating that the EHEF Secretariat have organized for everyone, then that's a good way to go. You have to seize all the opportunities to be able to find possible partners. And in fact, even with your own initiative, trying to look in the different EU institutions university website is also a good way to go. But at the same time, you also have to be patient. Designing your program or project is one way, one thing, and then finally writing the agreement and then having that agreement approved will require a lot of approval, will have to undergo certain bureaucracy in your respective university. But if you and sometimes that requires a lot of that you'll have to wait a couple of uh, time for that. But remember, like if you're losing hope or some motivation, think about why you did it in the first place, and you'll be motivated to continue. Next is include the academic and support units right on the onset, because it is the academic units, the faculty members, as well as the staff of your university that will be at the forefront of implementing your project. So it's really nice if right off the bat they're involved in the design and development of whatever project you would like to accomplish. Next is you start with less, maybe you could also start with less ambitious goals. I understand that physical mobility is highly restricted right now. And so starting with less ambitious goals like inviting professors from your partner institutions to co-design or co-teach courses or inviting them as speakers is a good way to go for you to get to know each other's, your strengths, your weaknesses, and your field of expertise. And that will lay a strong foundation for bigger goals that you can implement in the future. And then lastly, understand that the memorandum of understanding that you will sign between or among your institutions is just a start. Your partnership is not, your university is not measured into the number of MOU you had with EU institutions or other international institutions, but what you can realize, what you can achieve out of those MOU is what really matters. So I hope you get to learn with some of the experiences that the University of the Cordilleras had, my office had in the past year during the pandemic. So at this point, I would like to thank EU for the opportunity that they've given us to present the experiences of UC in terms of building partnership with EU member institutions amidst the pandemic. And then if you're still unsure if you can, well, we would like to share our mantra in UC. We always say, yes, you can. And then to learn more about Project GEODRR, please go to their website. That's www.geodrr.eu, and you may also scan the QR code which you can see on your screen. But if you also want to learn more about my university, the University of the Cordilleras, actually, Engineer Nathan was my professor in the undergraduate. He was my college algebra professor. Please visit us at www.uc-bcf.edu.ph. So at this point, let's try to look if there are some comments that are there. So it seems like there are no comments in the YouTube Live. So with that, we would like to thank everyone for streaming and listening to our webinar. And yeah, I wish everyone a wonderful day ahead and wonderful rest of your HEEF 2021. Goodbye, everyone.